What is going on today, guys? A here, and today we're bringing you week 6 of UGL. I think it's week 6. Yes, it's definitely week 6. We're 4-1. Today is week 6, and we are facing KJ, the coach of the Cleveland Indies, who also has a YouTube channel. So if you want to check out his side of the video or his side of the battle, once that's up, his videos will be down in the description below. But also, if you are new here, subscribe and like the video because that's what's going to help me out the most. But KJ's team is very scary, and easily the scariest team in the league. He has Urshifu Single Strike, Skarmory, Prim, P2, Lycanroc Dusk, Drud, Chandelure, Rotom Fan, Claydol, Excelgor, Blossom. Right off the bat, you look at Urshifu Single Strike, who doesn't have Wicked Blow, just like I don't have Surging Strikes. He doesn't have Wicked Blow, but is still super scary. Skarmory, which is stupid bulky. Primarina, which is stupid bulky and hits hard. P2, which is stupid bulky. Lycanroc Dusk, which hits hard. Druddigon, which can be so supportive. It can have Glare Stealth Rocks, it can be Banded Sheer Force, or it can be Life Orb Sheer Force, or it can be Mold Breaker. Like, there's just so many things that Drud can do that makes that thing scary. You have Chandelure, who hits like a truck. Rotom Fan, which is arguably one of the better tier 4s. I think it was a tier 4. And then Claydol as like a Trick Room setter, where you can set Trick Room and go into something like Primarina or go into something like Druddigon. Excelgor, which I don't think is coming, I'm not super scared of, and the same with Blossom. But overall, his team is very, very scary, and I guess we're just gonna hop right into it. First, we're gonna start off with our Urshifu here. You can see we're bringing a little bit of a different set, and that's because of P2. P2 actually can eat some hits. Like, I don't think he's gonna keep P2 in, but this allows Urshifu to be able to go into P2 more, like switch into P2 more. We take less than half from Psychic, and then we take less than half from Thunderbolt, but then we also get that recovery back with Drain Punch, which is why I'm running Drain Punch. I assume that he's gonna bring Prim in a lot of the times, or even Skarmory in a lot of the times on this Urshifu, which is fine with me. I am on the fence of putting U-Turn over Aqua Jet on this set. Like, Aqua Jet does a ton of chip to Chandelure and a ton of chip to Lycanroc Dusk, and probably even to Claydol, but like, it's almost like, so the things that switch into Urshifu, I don't really want to hard switch out on, so I kind of want to go into Urshifu and then U-Turn out. Oh, sorry guys, I just woke up. And then U-Turn out. But at the same time, it's like, if I get in a situation where Urshifu could just Aqua Jet to win, then we can, because we're outspeeding Chandelure, which is the thing. And if he brings Scarf Chandelure, then I'll know it. If he doesn't, I'm just going to hit it with a Liquidation anyways. I risk a Flame Body, but at the same time, I kill the Chandelure. And that's kind of my thing with the Aqua Jet too, is I'm still risking Flame Body with Aqua Jet, and I kind of just want to put U-Turn on this thing. So that might be something that you see in the battle that you're not seeing here in the team video or the team builder, but that's just how it is. We are able to run Adamant this week. I'm not worried about speed tying his Urshifu, because my Urshifu beats his Urshifu even if he's like banded Life or banded Thunder Punch. Then we're fine. Or even Zen Headbutt for that matter. We're fine, but then we just Drain Punch whatever damage he deals back to us. So I like this we're bringing some different sets. I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm probably not bringing the absolute best sets that I could bring to this matchup, because I kind of want to save those for playoffs, because I fully expect to see KJ in either semis or finals if I make it to playoffs. Right now he's the 1 seed, I'm the 2 seed, and I fully expect to see KJ in the finals, so I do not want to reveal everything that I have for his team right now, but we are still going to try to win this game, because if we beat KJ this week, then it puts us in a really, really great spot for the rest of the season at staying top 2. And if you don't know, top 2 get a bye into semis, because top 6 in this league are what makes playoffs. So I kind of want to be fighting for that top 2 spot. So if we do beat KJ this week, that's going to be huge for us in staying in that top 2 spot. And I think if we beat him even by like a +3, then we actually take over the number 1 spot. But not going to really worry about beating him by +3. I just want to worry about beating him in general, just to stay top 2. because I still have an opponent later on in the season who is kind of right behind me, and if I win this KJ match, it makes that match a lot less important for me. But if I lose the KJ match, that match is super important for me, and I would rather have that match not be as important for me. But like I said, this Urshifu probably could be some kind of banded set, but I don't want to break out the banded set yet. And like probably could be speed tying. I don't want to be speed tying yet. Probably could be some kind of bulk up. I don't want to be bulk up yet. Like, there's a lot of sets I could bring on this Urshifu, but I think this assault vest is going to catch him kind of off guard, and I kind of don't want to bring my super A game until playoffs. But next we have the Sizzle here, who is one of the better sets that I'm bringing. We have protected pads, technician, sword stance, bullet punch, knockoff, U-turn. I had superpower on this, but I think knockoff is better. Protective pads is on here because he really likes bringing what's it called, Rocky Helmet on things like Skarmory, and he wants to bring Rocky Helmet on things like Druddigon, and he also has Flame Body on Chandelure. So you have Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet Druddigon, possible Rocky Helmet Skarmory, and Flame Body Chandelure. Protective pads helps with every single one of those things, and his only knockoff user is Excelgor, and I don't think Excelgor is coming, so don't think I ever have to worry about anything with this Scizor set. I don't have to worry about getting burned, I don't have to worry about Rough Skin, I don't have to worry about anything. I just come in, Sword Stance at the right time, and then win the game from there. Chandelure I can catch on a switch and with knockoff. Drud, same thing. Any of my moves are doing a good bit to Drud. I had superpower for P2. Skarmory comes in on this thing a lot, which is why I have U-turn, and why I think that Rocky Helmet Skarmory could be a thing. But overall, this Scizor set I think can put a lot of holes in this team and open up some gaps for me to close up with things like Urshifu or Pelipper or even Salazzle kind of late game. So that's what I'm going for. It's the same thing I try to do every week, kind of chip, and then something comes in and cleans everything up. And I think Scizor is that one thing that's going to really help me chip down his team. And we're just running basically max HP, max attack, adamant. I do have 20 speed EVs just in case something is trying to speed creep it from his base 60s, because he does have a lot of base 60s. So just put a couple speed EVs in there just to see if anything was speed creeping it. But overall, I think the Scizor set is going to do really well. And then next we have our Pelipper, who is coming offensive again this week. We have enough speed to outspeed Lycanroc while we're Scarfed. We have Drizzle, Hurricane, Scald, Ice Beam, U-turn. I think Hurricane can put some massive holes in his team. His switch into Hurricane is Rotom Fan. We have Ice Beam to cover that. We also have U-turn to kind of force something out and get momentum. Hurricane is going to do a ton to his team. It obviously does a ton to Urshifu. It's going to do a ton of things, like even Lycanroc is going to take a ton. It can't switch into a Hurricane. Drud can't switch into a Hurricane. I can tell you right now, P2 probably cannot switch into a Hurricane because he's going to need to be defensive for Urshifu, which means he's not going to be especially defensive for Pelipper. And Primarina switching into a Hurricane is very, very risky because he's risking a confusion there, and I don't think that's something he wants to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and say right out the gate, nothing here switches into a Hurricane. And if he's Scarf Urshifu, he will be faster than us. But if he's not Scarf Urshifu, then I can come in every single time, right, and just click Hurricane on Urshifu every time that comes in. Same with Lycanroc, I can come in and click Scald. Same with Chandelure, I can come in and click Scald. Same with Claydol, I just come in and click Scald, or I just click U-turn on those things and get momentum back into another Pokemon that I want to be in. But Hurricane does a ton of damage to his team, and I didn't think I needed Pelipper to be my defogger this week because Rotom really has a pretty good matchup this week. So I didn't bring my Pelipper as my defogger and brought Pelipper more as my offensive special attacker this week, and I think it's going to do really well. We couldn't run Modest, which kind of sucks. I was surprised we couldn't run Modest when I saw the speed that I needed to hit, but I mean, it is what it is. We're still going to be doing massive damage with this Pelipper, especially Scald's inside the rain. He doesn't want to switch much into a Scald because he does have a good bit of physical attackers, and his special attackers aren't going to take my Hurricanes super well. So I'm excited to see what kind of work this Pelipper puts in. Next we have Salazzle, which is another Pokemon I haven't really brought this season a lot. I brought it to week 1, and ever since I picked up my new transactions, Salazzle hasn't hit the field a lot. But I think his team really cripples to Toxic. I think Toxic protects Salazzle really puts a lot of holes in his team. He doesn't have a switch into it. Like he doesn't want anything to really get toxic. So he can't, his switch in would be like, I don't know, maybe Claydol, right? His switch in would be Claydol, but Claydol doesn't want to get toxic. And if Claydol comes in, then I would just go into something like Scizor maybe, or even Rotom, and deal with that. But Claydol doesn't want to be toxic. I can toxic his Skarmory because of corrosion. I can toxic his Primarina, his Druid, his P2. Like a lot of things on his team do not want to be toxic. And once I get that toxic, I can come in, toxic protect, Sludge Wave, Flamethrower, put a ton of holes in his team with a Salazzle, and call it a day. We're outspeeding, should be everything on his team outside of like Excelgor. Let me check. We are outspeeding. We also won't outspeed Lycanroc Dusk, I don't think. But everything else we should be outspeeding. Yeah, we outspeed the Urshifu. I think that's what I speed crept there, is the Urshifu. So we should be good to go on the Salazzle. Flamethrower, Sludge Wave, obviously Flamethrower inside the rain isn't going to be doing a ton of damage, but I am really confident in the way that I've been playing my rain turns. And I need a way to beat Skarmory. So I feel like if I play my rain turns like I've been playing them every other week, then I can get Salazzle in at the right time, click Flamethrower on the Skarmory, deal some damage to something, or even click Sludge Wave on the Primarina. There's a lot of things, like Salazzle can put a lot of holes in his team, and I don't know if he's going to expect it just because I haven't brought it. Like, I think he's going to look at prep and say that Salazzle has a good matchup, but he might just think I won't bring it because I haven't brought it a lot this season, and it hasn't really been something that I've talked about, like, oh, Salazzle's so good. So he might not think I bring it, he might think I bring it. I don't know. He definitely should look at the matchup and say Salazzle beats me, or Salazzle at least puts a lot of holes in my team. But I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't think that I'm going to bring it and doesn't really worry about prepping for it. But I doubt he does, to be completely honest. Next is another set that I'm kind of iffy on. It's not the best set that I could bring, but it's one of those things where I didn't want to bring my top, just straight up best Jolteon set, because Jolteon has so far been probably the deadliest member of my team. It should have 10 kills, and it's come to 2 games. The reason it doesn't have 10 kills is because the Pokemon that it couldn't kill died to Stealth Rocks, but it's come to 2 games and should have 10 kills, and it should be second on the kill leaderboard from 2 games. Jolteon is an absolute monster, and this was another team that I kind of debated on Jolteon being my win con, but I think this Jolteon set is going to catch him off guard. I had Volt Switch on this, but then I was like, nah, if Claydol comes, then Claydol kind of just sits in on this thing. So I brought Thunderbolt, Wish, Yawn, Baton Pass. The thing is he has some switch-ins to Jolteon. The switch-ins to Jolteon I want to be asleep. So I click Yawn, force them out, I click Baton Pass, and I get out of there and I get momentum. Or I click Yawn, and then I predict them to switch, I click Wish, and then I get something again for a Wish. Yeah, so that's kind of the thought process with my Jolteon. It's one of those things, like, I feel like I would tell other people to bring this set, but then at the same time, I don't want to bring this set. Like, it's a set that I would say, hey man, this set really works against this team, and then it's like, but can I use it? You know, it's kind of weird. So I know this set is good against his team. It's just I need to play this set right. It's a more supportive Jolteon. It's weird because it has Expert Belt. It comes in on the Rotom every time. The Rotom can't T-Bolt. It doesn't want to Will-O-Wisp. It can't T-Wave. It can't Volt Switch. It has to Air Slash. Like, this thing actually just straight up walls Rotom. And once Rotom is in, then I would just click Yawn on whatever comes in, and we would call it a day. I think Claydol comes, so Claydol would probably be the thing I'm clicking Yawn on the most, but that's fine. If Claydol falls asleep, he loses a Teleport Mon, he loses his Trick Room Mon, and he loses his counter to Jolteon. I can't hit Claydol, but at the same time, I can still Baton Pass out and get momentum into something. And the thing I'm going to be getting momentum into is Rotom. Rotom actually puts a lot of holes in his team, even non-offensively. We have Leftovers, Defog, which is good because he has Spikes and he has Stealth Rock, which I don't want to be dealing with. So we have Defog. And then we have Leaf Storm for the Primarina. It's going to do a ton of Primarina. It's going to do a ton to Claydol. The best thing about Rotom is this is an electric type that ground types don't want to actually switch into, so that's great. We have Volt Switch for Momentum. Like I said, I don't have to worry about Claydol switching into this, because if it does switch into this, then I just Leaf Storm it. So I'm not exactly worried that Claydol is going to switch into this thing, so I feel comfortable about running Volt Switch here. And then I have T-Wave for the same reason of I don't think Claydol switches into it. So then I can T-Wave things like what would even switch in? P2. I could T-Wave P2, which would kind of be good, because if P2 is paralyzed, then it has a chance to get fully paralyzed. I could T-Wave Druddigon. I could T-Wave a Chandelure if Chandelure wants to try to switch in, which I don't think it's going to. T-Wave maybe their Urshifu signal. I think the thing he's going to switch in the most to Porygon or to Rotom is Porygon 2. Like, the thing is, he actually doesn't have that many switch-ins to Rotom. So I don't even really need to bring it that offensive, and it can still put a lot of holes in his team. And we are outspeeding. What is the thing? What's the next thing slower than Lycanroc Dusk? Rotom. We're outspeeding. What? We're outspeeding. Oh, we're outspeeding his Chandelure with this set. Actually, we're outspeeding his Chandelure with this set, and we're not worrying about outspeeding his Rotom, because we are neutral to Air Slash, which is kind of sucky. But at the same time, it's not going to do that much to us, and I'm not really worried about his Rotom coming in on this. If I am, then like Volt Switch still does a good amount of damage to it. So overall, like I said, the team probably could be better in certain sets, but I think the team that I'm bringing is going to work. This team builder is pretty long because KJ's team is super good, and it's hard to kind of give you the big picture of what I'm thinking whenever I make this team. But I'm thinking Salazzle comes in and toxics things and clicks Protect and does damage to things. Rotom comes in, defogs, Leaf Storms, Volt Switches around, spreads some T-Waves if it needs to. Jolteon comes in, yawns some things, clicks T-Bolt on some things. And then Scizor and Pelipper are kind of my big breakers, and like the things that are going to hit super hard. And Urshifu is kind of like a more of a bulky breaker on this team, but I think it can also clean up. The same with Scizor. I think Pelipper's the real breaker, and then Scizor and Urshifu would be my two Pokemon that come in late game and kind of clean up. But Salazzle also has that cleanup potential because it's faster than pretty much everything on his team. But overall, I think our matchups are pretty even with each other. I hope he's had a hard time building for me like I did for him. But that is where I'm going to leave you. So if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.